Hello and welcome everybody to the pilot episode of Ross's Cooking Camping Show. What are we going to make here today? Let's have a look at what ingredients we have. We have some tomatoes on the vine, tomato pesto, some small peppers. These are awfully handy size for something like this. One onion, smallish, some nice vintage cheddar, and some walnuts. Also, a little bit of salt. These little salt packets are awfully handy if you're, this is a camping show. This is a camping cooking show, right? So I want this to be as practical as possible if you were to make this in the middle of the wilderness. I'm not quite, I'm by a river here. This is quite nice. Stephen behind the camera here.
Hello.
Yeah, so anyway, so these little sachets of salt can be awfully handy if you just need a little bit of seasoning, rather than being a salt shaker or something like that. Right. Let's start off. This is a pasta dish, by the way. Oh, I forgot to show you my pasta. Woo! It's going to be a sort of a pesto pasta dish, as you can probably imagine from these ingredients. So we're going to fry up our vegetables and stuff, boil the pasta, and then mix it all together. And hopefully we will have a lovely little meal for ourselves. All right. Let's move these to the side, and we will start by chopping our ingredients.
Start crying?
No. What's often nice is to have shallots, so they're just like a small, kind of better version of onions.
Wow.
Also, here, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think red onions versus white onions, when red onions exist, there's just no need to use white onions. They taste just as well. The colour is just so much nicer. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for red onions over white onions. Also, now this is unconfirmed, and I don't know how true this is, but I feel like red onions sort of make you cry less.
Oh yeah?
But you know what? I could be talking through my arse there, so let's chop our onion here. We're going to chop this into chunks, You really don't have to be too fussy with this. I'm just going to slice down the middle, chop it up, don't worry too much about it. Now, if I was doing this in a kitchen, I would probably advise preheating your pan, but I'm doing this on a little gas stove here, so I don't want to waste any gas if I don't have to. So I'm going to chop my stuff first, have it ready first, and then heat that up. All right, our peppers. Now, most people, right, go to the bother of removing the seeds of peppers. They're fine. The seeds of peppers, you can just leave them in. I don't see any point in trying to remove them, to be honest. They don't really change the taste of it. They're fine. Leave them in. Or take them out and plant some peppers. I'm just removing the little green tops here.
During quarantine, planting some peppers or tomatoes or something.
Yeah. If you have a little bit of a garden, or even you could just have a little sort of planter or something. And
grow some nice herbs.
Yeah.
Oregano.
Yeah. So anyway, we're just going to slice these up. Again, like if you don't like anything that's in this recipe, you can obviously tailor it to suit yourself. This is just a nice little pesto pasta recipe. It's also vegetarian if any of you don't eat meat. So yeah, it's nice, it's healthy, it's hearty. It's just exactly what you want.
See the toes there, if you want to give them a wiggle. Ah! Yes! That's what I subscribed to first. Subscribe to Vine Alley Productions. This is high quality content. This high quality toe wiggling content.
Now, next we'll chop our tomatoes. I usually buy tomatoes on the vine like this. Smaller tomato, like cherry tomatoes or whatever these are, usually better flavour from them. And I'm just going to slice each tomato in half. You could leave them whole if you want, but I'm just going to slice them in half.
Great slicing, Ross.
Oh, thanks. Sharp knife.
Yes, sharp knife.
Ross's cooking tip number 1,
Sure.
Use a sharp knife. Alrighty. We shall leave our pesto to the side. let's get our stove heated up and start frying this stuff up. Where the fuck is my olive oil? Shit. It's a fresh jar of pesto. There's some oil in it.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
So we are going to improvise with that, and we are going to put a bit of oil in our mess tin here, which we're using for our pan. That's perfect. Let us light up our stove here. Gotcha. Yeah, I'd say medium heat for that. This is a thin aluminium mess tin, so it heats up very fucking quickly. Ooh, okay, that's heating up almost straight away. Let's turn that down a little bit. I forgot how efficient this little stove is. It's an MSR Pocket Rocket 2, if you're wondering.
So many tomatoes. Ross, it doesn't matter if a tomato is late because it'll catch up later.
Oh.
Hang on, Ethan help.
Oh, now, we're just going to keep that on sizzling away there. And our meagre amount of oil should be sufficient, because once these vegetables start cooking, you know, they'll be sweating away there. They'll provide a little bit of moisture. Be cooking up lovely. If you do this most efficiently, you would have your water boiling for your pasta while you're cooking your vegetables, and then you combine it all at the end. But this is a camping cooking show. We only have one burner here, so we'll just cook these first. And then when our vegetables are done, we shall just leave them to the side and cook our pasta. It won't take us much longer, but that's the way we'll be doing it.
Ross, it's a real shame because the audience at home can't smell how delicious that smells.
Now, we are just about done there, so we shall sit that aside and boil up our pasta. Now, I won't sit this on my ground sheet here because it will melt it. So I'll just sit it over there behind me, and we have a little pot of water here. We shall get that bubbling up lovely. Turn up the heat. And boil that up. We shall add a little bit of salt to the water. Some people are adamant that you should always salt water when boiling pasta or spaghetti or something. I don't think it makes much of a difference. It adds a little bit of flavour to the pasta, but honestly I don't think it's a big deal. There we have it. Just boil that up nicely, and while that's boiling up we can chop up a bit of our cheese. This is some nice mature white cheddar, and I'm just going to slice it up, and then when we're putting everything together at the end, I'll just crumble it up through it with the walnuts, and we'll have ourselves a lovely pasta dish. Now our water is boiling up, so we'll just turn that down to a nice simmer and add our pasta. Now I will take the pot off the stove to add the pasta, because the last time I knocked the other thing off the top of it and it went everywhere, so I'm going to play it safe. Hello. There's a doggo there. Alright, let's get that back on there. Anyway, so that cheese was absolutely divine.
Delicious.
I wish you could taste this cheese. This is good cheese. Stephen can taste it. Yeah, there you go.
A nice chunk.
I'll have to cut some more at the end if I keep eating it. Good cheese. Good cheese. Okay. Turn the heat back up on that. Make sure it bubbles up. Give it about 8 to 10 minutes. And then we shall combine everything and hopefully it'll be lovely. All right, our pasta looks like it is boiled there. We shall turn that off and strain it, which I'll attempt to do over here and not get it on anything. Perfect. Alrighty. We'll just gently heat them up again to make sure everything is hot. Now, let us get our pesto in here. I would say a generous dollop or two, you know? No need to skimp out on the pesto. Now, we have our walnuts here, and I am going to crumble them into our vegetables here. So, just, oh, there's a hole in the bag. How wonderful. Just grab a handful there.
I'm going to do what otherwise.
And, nice one. There are 2 holes in the bag. And just crumble them in there, you know. Again, if you're not mad into walnuts, maybe you could try something like pine nuts could be nice. It adds, it's not so much for the flavour, although they are nice, but it just adds that little bit of texture, a little bit of crunch into it, you know. You want a meal to be an experience in both taste and texture.
Doesn't look too bad either, huh?
All right, let's just stir that now. Make sure that's all fine. Now we can turn that off. My fork fell in there. Ooh. And I am going to mix in my pesto first, because I'm dealing with quite small pots here, so it's not that easy to mix everything together. That is looking lovely. Have a look at that there.
Lovely.
Lovely. I mean, you could just eat that on its own. Okay, let us get our vegetables in here. All right. They've been sitting, waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this moment. Look at that now. Get all of them in there now. Okay. Now, finally, our cheese. Just going to take that. Just going to crumble some chunks in there. Now, mix that in together now. And you have yourself a lovely hearty little meal. Have a look at that. That's lovely now. Give it a taste test, because I tell you it's lovely, but I need to make sure. That's lovely. And you know what? The peppers, I didn't completely soften them. So there's a little bit of crunch from them. We have our cheese, we have our pesto, we have our pasta. That little bit of extra crunch from those walnuts. It's beautiful. Does it get the Stephen seal of approval?
You've outdone yourself this time, Ross.
Thank you. What can I say?
It's the best cooking camping dish I've ever had from you. Very good.
The first of hopefully many.
Yeah.
We're losing some light here, so we'll get this wrapped up. We'll eat this first. And see you on next episode of Ross's Cooking Camping Show.
Name TBD.
Yeah, name TBD. It's the pilot. Whatever. We're working it out. It's a process. All right.
Bye.
Look now.
So you're some kind of Zen master that's going to buttering noodles.